Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox. I am your host, James J. As always, with me, Scooter Dust.
The Holy Grail ponytail coming at you.
And it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with not America's sweetheart, Davienne. How are you?
I am good, thanks. How are you?
We are great because we are talking with you now.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
too kind.
What is Davienne doing right now?
Right at this very moment, I'm actually sitting outside the New England Pro Wrestling Academy. I was just coming to train for a little bit tonight, so.
Oh,
Very nice.
I think you have a connection with Scooter in that aspect, correct, Scooter?
Yes, actually, I trained with the New York Wrestling Connection. And you were a part of the first, and so far only ever, first female Master of the Mat match.
I'm so sorry, I can't hear him.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh, no. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
can you hear him now?
No, he's like muffled.
Try going.
Right.
Okay, perfect.
There we go. Okay. I trained with the New York Wrestling Connection.
Oh,
And-
no way. Okay.
Yep, and you were part of the first ever, and so far first only ever, female Master of the Mat match.
Yes, I was.
Plus, you have also had a few matches with somebody I started training with when I began, Nikki Adams.
Oh, yes, I wrestled Nikki a ton of times.
Yes, and plus you've also had a few encounters with a couple of other people I've trained with, particularly John Silver.
Oh, hell yeah. Love John Silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite matches definitely was with John Silver. Unfortunately, it was in front of a very small crowd. But I did actually wrestle him in a tag team match too, which was awesome.
And could you maybe tell us where we could find DVN on social media as well?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Davienne__. I do have a Facebook fan page. It's at Not America's Sweetheart. I don't really post that much on it. I'm pretty bad with it. Twitter and Instagram is the best way to find me. I also have a Big Cartel store. I'm pretty sure it's like shop.davienne, and then a pro wrestling tees store.
Sweet.
Oh,
And
awesome.
you've been wrestling as of late for Limitless Pro Wrestling in Shimmer.
Yes.
Could you maybe tell us about the wrestling environment you've experienced so far with them?
Yeah, both are super, super positive locker rooms, great locker rooms to be in. Shimmer is just like on another level with women's wrestling. They're the pioneers. They just had their birthday. I believe it was yesterday. It was always my goal to wrestle for Shimmer when I first started wrestling. So to finally work for them now has been incredible. Randy Carver, who runs Limitless Wrestling, is like a genius when it comes to wrestling. He's grown a product so fast, so incredibly. They're just really, really great locker rooms to be in.
And I feel like Shimmer is like one of the best women's only promotion, but I kind of feel like we hear a lot about Shimmer, but we don't actually see a lot about Shimmer. So what is
Oh,
something you would like people to absolutely know about the Shimmer product?
Shimmer just gives such a great platform for women's wrestling all over the world. They only run about twice a year. They do, a Shimmer weekend. Unfortunately, one of those got canceled because of the pandemic. But there's plenty of footage available on their website, on DVD, on all of the wrestling platforms. There's so many streaming services. You can find old Shimmer matches with legends in women's wrestling like Mercedes Martinez, Allison Danger, like so many. So there are plenty of ways, even if you can't make it out to Illinois where they usually run, to watch the product.
It's funny you
Now,
brought up Mercedes,
yeah,
Mercedes
yeah.
Martinez. Scooter had an impromptu run-in with her one time.
Yes, during an NYWC event, I was told I had to go out and somehow signal the referee to tell Mercedes, and I forget who her opponent was that night. I think it might. I think it might have been Sumi Sakai. I'm not sure. To wrap it up because they had gone on too long, and I did not want to do that.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, you don't do that.
Um, if I may, I believe you are still the WSU Spirit Champion,
Yeah, I am.
and you are approaching one of the longest reigns ever with that title. Am I correct?
I believe so, and I probably will be WSU Spirit Champion for the rest of my life.
You're gonna
I
have
don't
a
believe
Bruno
I
Sammartino
don't
run with
know.
it.
I have heard no word of WSU running another show. So, yeah, I guess I just have it.
Well, tell us about how you won the belt and what it meant for you to hold that belt.
So I beat Chris Statlander for the title,
Hmm.
which was really cool. I wrestled Chris a bunch of times. She's fantastic, obviously. She's just like one of the best to ever set foot in the ring, male or female.
From another planet.
Um, yeah, she's awesome, and it meant a lot to beat her, and I think I'm number 17 to hold the title. And WSU was also one of the kind of pioneers in women's only promotion, so it really meant a lot to have that title.
And you are on the PWI's top 100 women's list. You ranked 81.
Yes.
What does it mean to be on that list?
I mean, to be honest, I never thought I would get on it. So to be on the list this year after wrestling for 7 years, it meant, kind of the world to me. To see my face in a magazine was really cool, amongst all these other names of women I truly respect. And a lot of my friends were on the list for the first time. So it really just meant a lot to us to kind of all be on the list together.
Mm-hmm. Now, going over your portfolio, your long storied career, there's a little bit of a common thread in the fact that you are in a lot of intergender matches.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I really want to dig into that a little bit.
Okay.
Do you think intergender wrestling should just be wrestling, period? And should it be based on talent and not gender?
I mean, here's the thing with intergender wrestling, it just adds so much to the storytelling of professional wrestling. Like, yes, I want to be treated like an equal, but I don't want people to forget that, yeah, I'm still a woman. Like, I'm very proud that I'm a woman, and I'm getting in there and being a strong woman, going toe to toe with a man. I don't think that should be like glossed over and just have people forget it because it just becomes so commonplace. I think intergender wrestling is great. It adds, more to a story. It doesn't have to, like, you can just do so much with it. I actually prefer wrestling guys. Sometimes, like, I feel that women can almost elevate themselves by going toe to toe with a man, and it's like, yeah, I can be showcased at the same level as you and go toe to toe with you, and I'm an equal. Yeah, sometimes if I go and wrestle somebody who's 6'5" and has 80 pounds on me, yeah, they're gonna beat me up, but I'm still gonna fight. Like, there's no I don't want to say there's no fooling the people that, yeah, if a guy is bigger than me, yeah, that he can injure me. There are women who are significantly bigger than me that could hurt me, and then I have to fight from underneath for. But yeah, I don't want to forget that, like, I'm still a female, I think it just adds way more to the storytelling aspect that you can just have so much more fun with it.
All right, awesome.
I love that answer.
Thank you.
And obviously you do wrestle men quite often. How do you approach a match with a man rather than a
My
woman?
phone. Okay. I'm sorry. What was that?
How do you approach a match with a man rather than a girl?
Turning the volume down. What was that question?
How do you approach a match with a guy rather than a girl? And what's the upside and what's the downside?
I feel like every single match I have to approach differently. Like, going into it, I'm like, who am I wrestling? What's the story we're trying to tell? What do these people want to see? Most of my intergender matches of recent have been tag team matches with JT Dunn. We have a very interesting dynamic of that. Like, I feel like I'm the leader of the team, so I go in there and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna beat up these dudes that we're wrestling, and ha ha ha, like, I'm hot shit. I'm sorry for cursing. But
It's fine.
so
We've
it kind
said
of
a lot
really just.
worse.
Oh, okay, cool. It kind of just depends on the person that I'm wrestling. If it's like a smaller guy, I'm like, oh, cool, like, I can toss him around. Or it's a smaller girl, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna toss her around, she'll fight from underneath. It's a big guy, I'm like, ooh, okay, like, I have my work cut out for me. If it's a girl of equal size, we can tell a different story that way. Like, it all just kind of depends, like, who the person is and, like, what is the story we're trying to get across for the people to see.
Okay. And you've been wrestling for 8 years now, and I can't imagine 2020 was your best career year. What has it
um
been like to wrestle in the pandemic era of pro wrestling?
so it's definitely very weird. um like, not going to a wrestling show every weekend. That's been my life for 7-8 years. So bringing it all to a halt was kind of crazy. But luckily, Randy Carver gave us all the platform to be able to still be featured on IWTV with The Road and YouTube, um, and still have people get see us and, like, have a platform to maintain our in-ring skills and, like, get eyes on us. Like, I feel like, even though I haven't wrestled as much as in 2020, I've had, immense growths in my social media, in viewing. I've had some of my best matches just because of Limitless Wrestling. Like, maybe not the most matches career-wise, but I feel like the most growth in myself as a performer. To like lose professional wrestling was kind of like, whoa, this is not exactly what I envisioned for my life. And so there's really no fear anymore, and being like, what's going to hold me back besides myself? Like, it got to be full steam ahead now, because everybody can get signed at this point. And I can just try to make the most of the opportunities that I'm given during a pandemic, to have people see me and still be entertained by me, and kind of just tune out what else is going on in the world that is a shit show. And tune into like Limitless or Shimmer, and just tune off the world. So I'm not spending as much time wrestling, but I feel like the quality of wrestling for myself has gotten better this year.
Oh, all right. Now, take us back to the beginning, and please tell us how you got into the business and what inspired you to get into wrestling. Please, if you will, take us back to the beginning of your career, and please tell us how you got into the business and what inspired you to get into wrestling.
So I was 11 years old. I watched Sunday Night. How I started training.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I started watching wrestling because my brother was a fan, and I watched Randy Orton versus Christian from Sunday Night Heat, and I just fell in love, and was like, I'm gonna be a professional wrestler. At 11 years old. So I. My sister went to high school with Kenny Dykstra, and they did an article in the newspaper on him in my town. And he said he trained at the Killer Kowalski School of Professional Wrestling. So at 15, I just kind of followed the school, and it became the Chaotic Training Center, and then the New England Pro Wrestling Academy. And I was like, this is where I'm going to go. So 3 days after I turned 18, I walked in, I paid, and that was the start.
Now, you went to the Killer Kowalski school, and there's a lot of prestige in that school. Obviously, Triple H went there. I believe Scotty 2 Hottie went there too. Um, what was some invaluable information you learned specifically from the Killer Kowalski school?
I would have to say the basics here is on another level. Like all of the students here have really pristine footwork, which is really important. Our psychology in the ring is on another level. It's why so many students from the Northeast area in this school go on to be really successful in the WWE. It's just the best school in New England, hands down. The lineage here is invaluable. There's just so much knowledge from everybody. Everybody has a different opinion on something to help you learn in a different way. That's why everybody's been really successful.
Now, going back to 2020, have you been wrestling in a closed set or in front of people?
I've done both. The Limitless tapings have been closed to just wrestlers, and then I wrestled in front of a live crowd at the Collective. So I've done both.
What has been the main difference in wrestling in front of on a closed set? How does that affect your psychology going into a match?
Oh, it's really freaking weird. Because you expect to get a reaction from the things that you do. That's literally, it kind of almost numbs the pain a little bit when you get that reaction from the people. And when you don't, it's like, oh wow, this sucks. It makes you like rush your timing. Like you don't want to be just like firing up for nobody. So it's all just very weird. If it's in front of no people, if it's in front of other wrestlers, they give you all you got, which is fun to wrestle in front of your friends. But still, nothing really beats a live crowd.
I think we could all agree on that.
Yep.
Scooter, you have a question?
Well, I know you were particularly interested in this, James. Tell us about Love Doug.
He's a stalker. He's a creepy stalker who just wants love, and it's like, what is wrong with you, bro? Like, you need help. You need a new therapist because your therapist didn't work. Like, he's out of control. He's out of control.
Was the match you had with him the last you've heard of him since?
No, he still tweets at me like every day.
Ooh.
Yeah, he won't stop. He's not done. He promised me to go live in the woods. He won't stop.
And does this have anything to do with something you call Murphy's Law?
Yeah, I have the worst luck in the world, which is why Doug has attached to me. He just appears out of nowhere. I feel it's like Beetlejuice. Keep saying love Doug. He's just gonna appear outside my school right now.
Other than the Love Duck predicament, could you maybe tell us a story about Murphy's Law in action?
Oh, sure. It's pretty much every day of my life. It's hysterical, honestly. It's a joke. We were on our way to the last Limitless tapings. I was traveling with Team Sea Stars, if you guys are familiar with them.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashley was like, "Oh, I didn't change my oil in my car. Can we take your car?" I'm like, "Oh, of course. Like, I just got to get gas in the morning and my tire pressure light is on. So like, I just got to put air in my tires. Like, it's cold out. Maybe the change in weather made my tire, get a little deflated." None of my tires looked flat. Like, they looked fine. Go to put air in, and like one of them's taking forever to put air in, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And I looked down and there's a giant nail in my tire, and I was like,
ooh.
We got to drive 5 hours to Maine, guys, and like now there's a nail in my tire. So we had to take their car, which doesn't have heat in it. When I was trying to get to the collective, I was in charge of booking the Airbnb and booking the rental car. So I was driving. I went to pick up the rental car, and I was supposed to drive to New Jersey to pick up Layla Hirsch, and then we were driving to Indiana overnight. And I booked a rental car, had a reservation number, got a confirmation email, whatever. I show up to the Enterprise, and they're like, "This location has closed due to COVID. Please go to our other location 15 minutes away."
Wow.
And I was like, are you kidding me? So I call the other location. I was on my way, and they were like, "We close at 6. Can you get here by 6?" And I was like, my GPS says 6:03. And the girl was really nice, and she was like, "Well, I'm not in the location itself. So like, but we have cars available. So just call this number back and hit option 4." So I called the number back, and they left me on hold until 6 o'clock and then disconnected me. And when I called back, they were like, "Please call back during our business hours." So then I had to go to Providence Airport to get a car. And then I go into the desk, and there's nobody at the desk. And I called the customer service and was like being a Karen because I'm having a day. And I look down, and I see this little handwritten sign. It was like, "Please go to level 4 of the garage to pick up your rental car." And I like say to the guy on the phone, I was like, "I'm really sorry. I'm just having a day." And I just looked at this handwritten sign that said to go to level 4 of the garage. So I was 2 hours behind by the time I finally got the rental car. And then on the way there, we make it to Indiana. We're going to stop to get breakfast. We've driven all night, right? We take an exit to go to Cracker Barrel. I can see the Cracker Barrel. And then so I missed the turn for the parking lot, apparently, because I was like, "Oh, no, this is the turn for the gas station." The Cracker Barrel entrance must be up here. No, I got back on the highway and there was no exit for 40 minutes.
Oh my
So I had
God.
an extra 2 hours onto my trip because I couldn't just bang a Yui basically and go on the other side of the highway because I missed the Cracker Barrel by like 10 feet. So that's examples of Murphy's Law.
Well, for every bad thing that happens, there is a great thing. And I've seen you have, in fact, wrestled Soraya Knight, the
Oh yeah.
mother of
Yep.
Paige. Can you tell us just a little bit about that experience?
The real fear was unreal. Yeah, so the fear was just unreal. But she was great. She was awesome. She beat the snot out of me. But I learned a lot. I was really happy with the match. It was like Team C Star's favorite match because I just got my ass kicked the whole time. And they were like, hell yeah, Davey's finally getting her ass kicked. But yeah, it was really cool.
It sounds like you have a very up and down relationship with the C team.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It seems like you have a very up and down relationship with this team. You travel together, but then they ask you to devastate it when you get beat up.
Oh yeah, we have a very messed up friendship.
And friends like those, who needs enemies?
Right. I mean, we truly love each other, but when something funny happen, like if something funny happens, but I mean it causes bodily harm, we laugh at each other. It's bad, but it's okay. It's okay. We love each other. It's all love.
Now, you gave us an incredible example of Murphy's Law in play. Has it ever affected you inside the ring, though?
Oh yeah. One time somebody threw a chair at my head and the leg hit me in the eye, and now I have a scar on my face. Yeah, Murphy's Law.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Did you suffer any injury time? Self time for that injury?
Like a week to get my stitches out, and I had 2 swollen eyes.
Ooh.
But it wasn't anything major.
And if anybody was to go out and look up a DVN match, which one would you say this is a match you should go out of your way to see because this is what I'm all about as a pro wrestler?
Either myself and Anthony Green from Limitless Wrestling, Pandemic at the Dojo. It's on YouTube.
That's a recent
And
one.
also, what?
That's recent.
Yes, it was recent. And also my match with Christian Casanova from Limitless Wrestling also was just put on IWTV on Wednesday. It should be released on YouTube in the coming weeks. I would say definitely those 2.
All right.
All right. And where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Oh, that's a great question. I have no idea. I'm the kind of person I like just take things day by day. But hopefully signed to a television company and making wrestling my full-time living.
Any specific company?
My top 2 would be either WWE or Impact Wrestling.
Huh, that's interesting.
Ooh.
Because usually AEW is coming up in the ranks, but do you not see their women's division as something you would be interested in?
I just look at all the women in Impact right now, and I just like there are a lot of women that I have either wrestled in the past or would like have had like Kimberly is one of my dream matches. Jessica Havoc is one of my dream matches. So I just look at their women's division. It's like it's so stacked of women I've had a history with or women I would like to wrestle. AEW is definitely putting effort in their women's division. I just think Impact is there right now.
Would the reason or one of the reasons you would prefer Impact the fact that they're incorporating women into more of their regular matches, like we've seen with Jordan Grace and she who will not be named?
Yeah, I mean it's really cool that they're doing that. I also think it's awesome that they're adding the knockout tag titles back. Like I am in a tag team with my favorite person in the world, Ava Everett, and I would love to hold tag titles with her. You know, that's like a dream. So yeah, I'm very very close with Alicia Edwards.
Oh yeah.
She basically raised me in New England to make me the wrestler I am today, and I would love to work with her again on TV. So that's really really why I just think Impact is an awesome place to be as a woman.
All right.
It is time for our Dundo round, and I'm going to run off a couple questions, and you tell me your the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay, cool.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time,
Randy Orton.
worst wrestler of all time,
Oh damn. Worst wrestler of all time. Oh my gosh, you guys stumped me. Oh, I'm like,
I think I think we could give her a pass on that, James.
Okay, we could come back around to it if you think
yeah,
it's something.
come back around to it. Come back around to it. Yeah.
Your main event in WrestleMania for the WWE Women's Championship. Who is your opponent?
Trish Stratus.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Stone Cold.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is.
A pain in the ass.
Literally the best answer we've had yet.
Yes, yes, I follow that.
Squash. Fruit or vegetable?
Vegetable.
Congratulations, you're in uh, the very loud minority of people that think squash is a vegetable.
It,
Is it a fruit?
it's an inside joke on our podcast, Wrestling with Entertainment, and it's a running joke. And we ask everybody we interview, squash, vegetable, or fruit. So
Oh, okay.
It is actually a fruit, but don't tell Kaliko that, other co-host, because he will passionately argue the fact.
Okay.
New Japan wrestler Taichi's ring gear gets smaller with every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question is, what is
oh
the
no,
appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Oh
oh,
gosh.
oh,
It shouldn't be more than like a cheeky bikini.
Alright.
nice, simple. Yeah, I like that.
And lastly, have you ever struck up a conversation about Darby Allin in a supermarket?
No.
And that is the correct answer.
All right.
Davienne, if you could please tell us once again where we can find you on social media.
Yes. My Twitter and Instagram are at Davienne __. I have 2 merchandise pages. Pro Wrestling Tees is JVN, and then my Big Cartel is I believe shop.davienne.bigcartel.com. Also find me on Facebook. I have a like page at Not America's Sweetheart. And I forgot to plug my TikTok earlier at Team Sea Stars.
And we will get all that information into the description of in the YouTube video and Castbox video when this is released.
Awesome.
And if you like what we're doing both on YouTube and Castbox, please give us a like and a subscribe. Next week on Wrestling with Interviews, we will hopefully be interviewing Bam Bam Malone. You have any thoughts on Bam Bam Malone, DVM?
I don't know if I know who that is.
Alright, fair enough. And you can always find us every Saturday on Wrestling with Entertainment. This week we'll be covering AEW Full Gear and NJPW Power Struggle. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, I am at JamesJ993. Where can they find Scooter Dust?
You can find me at Twitter on Scooter Dust, holding down it for the UNB network at UNBS Wrestling. And November 24th, do not forget the Survivor Series remix, The Farewell to the Undertaker, the remix, the only live streaming alternate commentary podcast on the web today.
For our very special guest DVN, I am James J. With Kaliko Yachts, Mitch Mayhem, and Scooter Dust. This is Wrestling with Entertainment.